All right, welcome back, everybody. So the COVID-19 pandemic has brought economic stress to most countries. It has equally affected the financial stability of many families, and South Africa is certainly no different. It's been a very, very difficult time for South Africans. Morning Live is particularly interested in understanding what actual financial assistance is being made available to customers in terms of repayments of bonds, cars, bank loans, credit cards, medical aid schemes, groceries, you name it. I mean, water, electricity, the schooling of children, and the list goes on and on and on. We begin this today by looking at one of the banks, and joining us on the line, we've got Bongiwe Gangeni, who is the Deputy Chief Executive for Absa's Retail and Business Bank. It's so good to have you, Bongiwe. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thanks, Leanne, and good morning.
From Absa's point of view, talk us through some of the relief programs and packages that you have on offer for your customers who need that kind of assistance.
Thank you, Leanne. So as Absa, we launched a fairly extensive payment relief program at the end of March, which offers payment relief to both our retail customers and business banking customers. And we made a decision that there would be no income or turnover threshold. So any customer who's a retail customer or a business bank customer can access the payment relief. It is available for most of our credit products, including home loans, car finance, credit cards, personal loans. On the business banking side, it also includes, our commercial asset finance as well as mortgage-backed business lending. Generally, this is available to customers who are in good standing with the bank as at the 29th of February 2020. But we are also encouraging customers that were not in good standing to approach us directly to have a bespoke conversation around what we could potentially offer on the cards. What the program offers is we suspend the payment of both capital and the interest on a customer's account. Obviously, what then happens is that the interest then gets capitalized onto the loan, and typically the term of the loan gets extended. That the repayment, your monthly repayment, doesn't change.
Yeah. So, I mean, we saw a lot of countries also trying to implement different issues and different ways around this. But we saw some countries taking a bold move of actually doing literally banking holidays, where they say to customers, listen, we are going to pause debit orders off of your account for the period that we are in this lockdown and that you are not working. And then we'll start again with basically no penalties that will come your way because of this. Is that something that was looked at from the banking side to assist South Africans that are not working? Obviously, those that are working, it can continue as normal, but there are millions that are sitting at home right now not working. Was this considered? Was this given?
So, Leanne, there was a lot of conversation at an industry level, but not just at an industry level, with our regulators and the government around what is it that the financial institutions could potentially do. And so the payment relief that we put on the table has been largely premised on those conversations that we've had. Obviously, this is about saying, how do we put cash flow back into our customers' pockets, which is what we've done, because essentially this payment relief says you do not have to repay your loans during that 3-month period. Now, we do understand that, this may continue for a lot longer, and we'll continue to look at what additional measures could we take as financial institutions in order to be able to support, our customers. There has been great response from our customers. So we do think that, Leanne, this has had quite an impact in terms of our customers, and has gone a long way in terms of providing relief.
You're at the forefront of all of this, and you're seeing the devastation that it is having on your customers. Obviously, these packages that you have brought forward and offered to them, have you seen a massive uptake? I mean, what is it looking on a monetary side from your end? Because you're used to seeing all this money flowing into the banks from salaries and all of this. This must have had a major effect. I mean, talk to us about what your clients are actually going through at a time like this.
Yeah, and this is a very difficult time. You have customers who have never defaulted on anything in their lives suddenly defaulting. So the devastation, and it's been quite sudden, in terms of both individuals, but as well as companies. We've had quite an extensive response from our customers to date. we've managed to restructure about just over 470,000, account holders, and that equates to relief of about 7 billion rand over a period of 3 months. We continue to see customers coming forth. So, as I said, we launched this at the end of March, and initially we saw quite a rush, obviously, customers after we had announced customers coming through. The numbers are starting to slow down a bit, but there are customers continuing to come through, because I think, the other point is that customers initially may not have been severely impacted, and as the lockdown gets extended, they realize the impact that this is having both in their individual and perhaps even in their business capacity. And those customers then come forth and ask for payment relief.
Yeah, I mean, as we keep saying, this has been in place for 3 months, so it would have been April, May, June. These are the kind of measures that have been offered by banks, but we don't know how long this is going to go on for. We've been told August, September, we may start only seeing the peak of COVID-19 in South Africa, which is going to affect many people, whether they are retrenched, whether they are fired, or whether they actually fall ill from coronavirus. This is going to obviously affect a lot of people. What happens going forward? I mean, if you say 3 months, but this goes on for 6 months, what happens then?
I think you're absolutely right, Leanne. We don't know the extent, of this pandemic. We don't know when it's going to peak. We don't know the extent, of the impact. So what we've put on the table as the banks is obviously our initial view of what we thought would be, most useful and helpful for our customers. I think, like everybody, we continue to monitor, the performance of our customers. We continue to monitor the impact, of the virus on the economy, on our business. And at an appropriate time, we will make decisions about what else are we able to do, what else are we in a position to do. We are very clear that we want to play our role in supporting both the country, but also in particular in supporting our customers.
Yeah. Repossessions. I'd like to just talk to this for a little bit, because there are a lot of South Africans that are fearing this at the moment, whether it be business repossessions or individual repossessions, those that can't pay their home loans, those that can't pay off their cars, and then they start seeing their assets disappearing and being taken away from them. Talk to us about your stance on this.
So, Leanne, the one thing that I would say is that it is important for customers to approach us as a bank if they find themselves in a difficult space. And this is not just in terms of payment relief. I think we always encourage customers to make the effort to talk to the bank. I can tell you that generally as banks, repossession is almost, it's the very last resort. We would not want to repossess, customers' homes. And therefore, we would encourage customers to approach us, to have a conversation. We would look at options. We will look at what opportunities exist to restructure the loan. And really, that's really the key message I would want to land is, if you're a customer and you see that you're in trouble, get in touch with us, and we will be able to have a conversation with you that understands your circumstances and see what it is that we can do.
Yeah, all right, that's key. Communicate with your bank and try and work out something going forward. Just finally, at the end of the day, you're a business, Absa is a business, and this is going to dent your bottom line, as is other banks around the world and in South Africa, and it may not be sustainable for you to continue like this. How has the bank actually cushioned itself from such an eventuality?
Yeah, I think the one thing about the South African banks, Leanne, is that South African banks are well capitalized, and so is Absa. So we are not at all concerned around our capital position. And as I indicated, we ensured that before we go out with this payment relief program, we engaged our regulators, because we are a regulated industry, both locally and internationally. So the payment relief programs that we put up have been well thought through. We understand that the banks are systemic to this country, that the banks are critical, for the revival of our economy. And so we've been very deliberate about ensuring that these payment relief programs that we put forward do not undermine our economy and the ability of our economy to come out of this, even stronger than where it was.
Bongiwe, thank you. Bongiwe, talking to us here about Absa's stance with regard to it. Remember, here on Morning Live, we are going to invite as many of the banks as we possibly can. Bongiwe Gangeni is the Deputy Chief Executive of Absa's Retail and Business Banking, discussing banks' economic assistance for customers who need financial relief at a time like this. So again, thanks for your time.